Hello, hi. Welcome to a number episode. It's one of those days. Okay, so hi and welcome. I'm Maya and you can find me as sjomajlin on Instagram and Ravelry. I'm in my bedroom, not the usual setup. It was just, this is it today. Today is Friday the 15th of January. I'm on my computer chair, which is one of these, rock and spin ones. So I'll try to sit as still as possible because I know it's a bit uneasy, I guess, or nervous to watch people sit and move their chair about too much. So I'll try. I sort of usually record my episodes on Friday mornings. I had dentist appointment today, or like a checkup thing, and I got as much praise as I usually do, so nothing bad there, but that meant I couldn't record this morning. And then I was thinking that I could record tomorrow, but then I'm going away for a brunch tomorrow, and so I don't know about daylight, and I just got home from work, and yeah, so... And I have a headache, and it's just one of those days, so I couldn't really... just starting to think about, because I usually, I have my stuff in here, because this is where I sit, my computer is right there. So this is where I sit and do my things, so I have most of my knitting here, and so I usually just take that over to the kitchen, which is in the next room, and set up the camera and do the recording. And just starting to think about doing that, and I was tired just by thinking of it, so I was like, you know what, I'm trying something new today, and we'll just have to see if it works at all. So yeah, one of those days. Yes, Friday, I said that. Yes, I did, 15. So it is almost 5 o'clock. I just got home from work, and it's dark out, as you might be able to guess from all the artificial lights that are on me. Today, though, was the first day in a long time that, well, I do work very different hours on different days and on different... So, but I almost always have the same time on Fridays when I get off from work. And today, this Friday, was the first in many weeks, months, 2 months, maybe something like that, when it wasn't completely dark out when I got off from work. So that was a really good feeling. It was dusk or twilight, but it wasn't completely dark, and it was actually still some light as I got home a few minutes ago. I had to, go to the bathroom and still collect some stuff. So I usually... Okay, so for those of you who saw my little apartment tour last spring or something, I think I posted just a little tour thing of my apartment, partly to show you the spinning wheel, which is right here. You might remember that my apartment is tiny, and the rooms are tiny, so the camera is propped up against the bed and the night table there, and then I have my desk here, and then I have a small side table over there that I usually keep the stuff on. But if I couldn't fit myself in the frame and still be able to reach those things, I just put them down on the floor here. And yeah, so the light is returning, even though it's slowly, and we've had, and I've posted a few pictures of this to Instagram, that we've had really cold weather this week, and it's been very high air pressure weather. Do you even say that? Is that a thing in English? The low pressure weather is usually when it's raining and it's cloudy, and high air pressure and low air pressure. High air pressure weather is... So in the winter it's very warm and sunny, and in the winter it's very cold, and the clear skies and very high feeling of the air. and we've been having very high air pressure the last few days, and that's just lovely. And we don't have a lot of snow, but we have snow, and with the sun and the snow, that's just amazing. And it's been really, really cold. I think we had like closer to 25 degrees below zero, which is obviously then on the Celsius scale last night. And I don't know Fahrenheit and the Fahrenheit scale, but I do think that 0 on the Fahrenheit scale is about -17 or something like that. In the neighborhood anyway of the Celsius scale, so that is degrees below 0 on both scales anyway. And it's been freezing, and I do prefer summer over winter any day of the month, but when it is winter, I prefer for it to actually be winter and to be cold. And it is important, and it's a part of the ecosystem, and it helps with freezing off parasites and bacteria, and help the plants and different sort of stuff know what's going on. So that's good. And I just want to mention okay, so I usually sort of mention kind of what sort of weather we're having, because I find it interesting to hear, you know, those little touches here and there about different parts of the world. So that is why I'm also touching on the subject, because I think it's sort of interesting. In doing that, I am aware that there is, because I've been less than thrilled with the weather lately. I wouldn't call it that I've been complaining, but some of you might have taken it as such, and that is completely fine, because it's up to you. I just want to mention that I am aware of the extreme weathers, especially in England and America. Because, you know, for some reason, we, in our part of the world, when something happens like in Africa or far away in Asia, we tend to care a little bit less than if it happens, you know, closer to our pack, I guess. I guess it's the pack mentality. So I just want to mention that I am aware, but my thinking of it is, or my thoughts about that is, it doesn't help at all to talk about it, you know. So I'm just trying to keep away. I just want to mention that. And on the note of less than amazingly happy news, this week has been, and I'm sure you are aware, it's been a crazy week. First David, and then Alan, of course, who passed away, and that is of course Bowie and Rickman. And talking about this subject is also obviously very touchy subject. For anyone who passes away, that is a very, very big thing, of course, or for the people around them. But for two heroes like that in such a short time, that raises a lot of thoughts. And so I did read this quote yesterday it was Chuck Palahniuk. I don't know who that is, and I don't know how it's pronounced, obviously. But who said, "We will all die," or "we all die. The goal isn't to live forever, the goal is to create something that will." And I found that kind of comforting, because both, and I want to say both Bowie and Snape are, in that sense, they're gonna live forever. They are truly immortal, so yeah. Such a rough start to the new year though, but it is what it is. Other than that, my week has been good. Mostly. I mentioned last time, let me undo my tea here. same month. I just realized I'm in the shadow of the camera, of the lights, well, of the lamp. I've mentioned last time as well that I am having a bit of a harder time again with my depression, which again, for those of you who've been with me for a while, you know this, but there might be some new ones. This is something that I am quite passionate about us as a society being able to talk about, because I think that the taboo and the stigma of mental health issues makes it a lot worse for many people. So I think it is a serious subject in the sense that it's not just something that you should, oh, I've been depressed lately. It's not easily, it's not something to take too easily, is what I'm trying to say. But it is something that we need to be able to talk about, I believe. So that is why I am starting to do my part, And it's been kind of hard. So quick recap about that. Last November, not November now, okay, so November of 2014. I was home on sick leave for the entire month and started on medications for depression and anxiety. And I've been gradually doing better since then, which is good. I have my good days and I have my bad days, as we all do, and that's life, I wouldn't want to have it any other way. But I've been sort of being able to see the the graph rising, which is a good thing. And then I know that fall time and winter time, excuse me, before the light returns, is tough on me. I struggle, as do a lot of us, but it's tougher on some than for others. So I was sort of prepared that the graph, instead of slowly going upwards, it would sort of even out for these months, and I was prepared for that. But now I've realized that it's not actually just me having a couple of bad days in a row, or weeks even. It's actually that the graph has turned and is going downwards, and that's not good. So I did call on Monday, I think, to book a doctor's appointment, and I am seeing my doctor, or that same doctor who I met in November as of last 2014. I'm seeing her on Wednesday to come to maybe discuss maybe changing dosage of the meds and for those of you who've been with me since that, and this fall, knows that I've been having some drama with the healthcare, what I was saying, calling it the office where I'm going, and it's the same one that I'm going to again, which is somewhat nervous, actually, but I know that I am seeing a doctor who is not the same doctor who I saw the last time. So that's good. Oh, that's good. Today I'm drinking, I usually don't tell you guys, today I'm drinking the Pukka, is it vanilla chai, I think, which is, it's the most warming tea I know, or that I've tried. I obviously drink my tea. Excuse me. I obviously drink my tea warm if I'm not having some sort of iced tea, but this is the most warming. I mean, it just spreads into every cell of the body. I just love it. Yeah, so after having booked that doctor's appointment, it's been a little bit easier, just because I know that I am dealing with it, really. But it's still been kind of hard to, especially in the mornings. It's really, really hard to get out of bed, and I've been having pretty bad nights as well, not being able to sleep, and yeah, well, whatever. I'm doing okay. The thing is, I don't want anyone to worry, you know, I'm not like suicidal or anything like that. The point is, though, I am getting help. I've realized that even though I am struggling, I need some extra help, and I am reaching out to get it, and I think that is very, very important. So that is what I'm doing. So yeah, this has been a kind of rough week in that sense, but yeah, I'm coping, and it's okay. I was gonna say on to knitting, but I think I want to show you a thing first. So let me reach over. On Sunday, last Sunday, I got a Christmas gift from my mom. Just a smidge late. No, but it is something that she had crocheted, and so she hadn't been able to do it in time, and that's cool. So I want to show it to you. A bag. It's crocheted, as I said, with this graphic pattern in, and again, the lighting, but it is sort of graphite, grey and cream, and then these red stripes. It's a rounded bottom with leather that she's made holes in and started crocheting from, so it's fully attached. And then there's so it's not like a bag to carry, but more of like a project bag type. But she wasn't pleased, so she found this leather string to have through, but she wasn't pleased with it because it is maybe a bit too wide, because it doesn't open up as easily as she had imagined, so she didn't cut it. So she said that if I wanted to switch it over to something else or so. But I actually just tied a knot in it. And the other day I was using this as sort of a handbag. I put a knitting project in, and I just used this strap to carry it on my shoulder, and I thought it was quite nice. My knitting needles did poke through because the crocheted fabric, it's not interfaced, or do you say that? You know what I mean, I'm sure. But it worked out fine. What I think is really, really neat is, and I'm trying to show you without having the camera cast its shadow. Yeah, well, maybe you can see that it is crocheted through. Do you say through the back loop in crochet as well in English? I actually don't know. I'm not very good with crocheting in English, especially since it's different in American and in British English, I think. So I never learn what stuff is called other than crochet. So I got that, and I thought it was really, really sweet. And I know some of you guys kind of like my mom, so I thought I would show it to you guys. Yes, then on to the knitting. I have a finished object, and it's down on the floor, so I'm sorry, I'm gonna lean over a couple of times. I finished this. Oh, actually, I kind of have another finished up. Well, I finished this bib style cowl. Oh, not the best sweater to have under to show you, or sweatshirt, I guess. It looks sort of like this. Again, the lighting, I'm sorry, but it's what it is today. The pattern looks like this without having too much of the actual camera shadow. And I've written up this pattern. It is currently being test knit. I am going to publish it as soon as possible to Ravelry as a free pattern. So if you want to make it, it will be available. I just want, so I have two ladies test knitting it for me right now, so thank you, ladies, you know who you are. I just want someone, as I said last time, to look at it, you know, with someone else's eyes, so that I don't just think that everyone understands my thoughts. Yeah, but I finished my sample of it and took some pictures, and I'm quite happy with it. The yarn I used was this ullgarn, the same that I knit the hat out of, that I finished 2 weeks ago. 1 week ago? 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I think I finished it 2 weeks ago and I showed it to you last week. This is 50 grams per ball and 50 grams per ball and 92 meters. So I don't know if that makes it a DK maybe? I'm slowly starting to learn those yarn weights, but I'm not sure. It's 100% wool, and yeah, I just had some leftover. I started to bind this off using, is it a lace bind off? Well, I used to bind off anyway, and I did not have enough yarn by far, so I had to take the bind off back and put it back on the needle, and then I used the, is it outline stitch bind off? A sewn, not the sewn bind off, but a sewn bind off, which uses much less yarn. So I had some left over, so I didn't have to worry about it at all. But that shows you how much different bind offs vary in how much yardage they need or take up. So that's the other finished object that I just realized before that I also have, is the pattern for the mitered wrap. I don't have it here to show you, but I had it last week and I've shown it to you before. I've written it out as a pattern, or more as a recipe, I would say, for a shawl or a wrap, and it's available on Ravelry for free. I've had very many likes on it, so I think a lot of you have seen it. Excuse me. So if you are interested, you can look at it. It's called Mitered Wrap, so I think you'll find it if you search for it. Sorry, fluff in my mouth. Then I have 3 current works in progress. First off is the Linus shawl, and here's a speaker. I'm not working on that. The Linus shawl that I'm still working on, out of this green, I don't know, I would say maybe it's semi-solid colorway. But the way this knits up, it turns into be sort of a stripy. Well, it's different shades of greens anyway, and you've seen it a million times if you've been with me before. And it's coming along slowly but surely. It's a very like comforting knit, so I enjoy it. They're also getting quite long, so I guess that is why so each row takes longer time now, obviously, and that, I guess that is part of the reason why I'm not gonna say I'm hesitant to work on it, but I don't reach for that as easily, I guess, because just to knit a row takes up quite a lot of time. And then I'm working on my sweater, my striping, or my striped sweater. I finished the body. I'm alternating skeins. Oh, and there's that beautiful shadow. I'm alternating skeins. The skeins are, or cakes, they look like this, caked up. So you can see that it has a very long and slow repeat from grey to tealy turquoise or something like that. So with alternating the skeins, I have this striping but also some almost like pooling, I guess. So I alternated to the end, but I did some ribbing for the bottom of the sweater, which then, as you can see, was in just one color, because I thought that would be less busy for the eye. And now I'm working down the first sleeve, also alternating to have them stripe. I am not at all bothered or concerned about the striping mimicking the striping of the body. The striping of the sleeve mimicking the striping of the body. But I am slightly, and I've said this before, so up here, the grey on grey sort of pooling is going on, and down here it's more of the turquoise on turquoise, which I'm completely fine with. I don't have a problem with that at all. But I would not want the one sleeve to be maybe having the turquoisey stripe pool and the other sleeve to have the grey pool of that. I'm not bothered if the sleeves are slightly different. They don't have to be exactly the same, but I wouldn't want them to be that different. So my plan is, because I'm still using, I have this much left of the 2 first cakes that I used for the body, and now started on the sleeve. And then I have 2 whole other cakes. So I have plenty of yarn, so I'm thinking that I'll knit through the first sleeve, and then in the second sleeve I can well, rip out really some yarn of either one or both skeins if I need to, or cakes, to sort of mimic it anyway. So that's what I'm thinking. Again, I was thinking to do this quite boxy and with positive ease. As I knit down the body, it was kind of late that I realized I hadn't made it as large as I thought I had. And at that point I didn't feel like ripping back to manage that. So it's a bit tighter than I had thought or that I had planned. But it's going to be fine. It still has positive ease. And I haven't knit a swatch of this at all, and especially haven't soaked it. So I don't know, it might grow some. It is 100% wool, it's not super wash though, so yeah, we'll have to see. Words. Yes, I was going for, I am doing some shapings of the sleeve though, because I want, you know, sort of the same amount of positive ease on my upper arm as closer to my wrist. So I've been doing some maths for that, and then recalculating, and then just deciding to make, because I was trying to calculate, because my arm anyway is sort of almost the same to past my elbow, and then it narrows or becomes more narrow pretty quickly. So the longest part of my arm is sort of the same, and then more happens towards the end of the arm. So I was thinking that I wanted to have some sort of custom fit for that. But since it's going to be positive ease anyway, I just decided that no, I'm gonna just make the increase every 10th row. So, or decrease, obviously. So that's what I'm doing on that. And then I cast on a new project as well, which is the Mystic Spiral Sock by Josh Ricks, or Geometrix Designs, who is also podcasting under the name of Sword of Anita, and that is sword as in a sword, not Swords of Anita. He is amazing, and I have such a huge crush on him. And I've told him several times. This pattern was gifted to me last week. No, I think I got it like on New Year's Day or something. So thank you very much, you who sent it to me. So I cast this on, and I've started it, and I am So it's knit toe up. I won't say too much about a pattern because it is a paid for pattern, but it's knit toe up, and then you do this spiral. Which side did I show you? I'm not sure. And then you go back, and then you go back to knitting it straight. And I am now getting close to where I'm doing my heel, and then you do another spiral on the leg of the sock, if I've gotten it correctly. I haven't read it through yet because I usually get a little bit scared if I read through a pattern all at once. This yarn, I've been spamming you a little bit with this on Instagram. I just love this yarn. It actually looks quite good. I was thinking it might not look very good in this light, but it looks kind of nice. The yarn is in Swedish, of course. Hand painted or hand dyed sock yarn from Garnsey. That's where I ordered it. It is Pro Lana sock wool in the that's the what do you say? They ordered Pro Lana sock wool and then they hand dyed it. Yes. So it is one of those days. 75% superwash wool, 25% polyamide, 100 grams, which is about 420 meters. Yes. And it is, as you can see, striping and a little bit pooling. And there is, you can sort of guess that you are working first in the round and then you're making short rows to set up for this biased section that you then knit in the round, and then there are short rows. So that obviously makes things go on with the colors and stripes too, of course, but there is some pooling. So here, for example, you can see that there is a lot of the blue and dark green, and on the other side there is a lot of the yellow, and then here is some of the like mint green. It doesn't really show up on the camera, but you can see some of it. And it's the same here on the toe, as you can see. Here is a lot of the dark blue and green, and here is more of the yellow traveling around. I don't really like pulling. I don't have a huge problem with it. I mean, I have some tolerance of it, I guess. And excuse me for leaning over whilst I'm talking. I have some tolerance of it, but I'm not a huge fan of it. But when it's like this, I just realized I could pull out a blocker so that it will, because it looks a bit wonky with this spiral. And again with the shadow. Pulling. Yeah, this, I think that since the white breaks it up and it is, I mean, it is traveling around still, even if it is pulling. You can see it, oh, there. You can see it very clearly here that the green actually starts to come around. So I quite like it, I think. And this, if you're wondering about the construction, it is pulled on the blocker sideways now. It will be, you know, like that, because it will be on the foot, but it looks very wonky like that, so that's why I'm showing it to you like this. So this this will be the sole of this sock, and this will be on the top of the foot. So I know, I am aware that I have it on, you know, sideways on the blocker, but again, with the spiral it sort of makes it look wonky. But yeah, it's funny. Someone asked, I think it was on Instagram, and I don't think I replied, to ask if it was if it is a difficult pattern to follow. This far, I find it to be completely brilliant. I haven't had any issues or problems with this. I don't know. I was thinking, I was about to say first that maybe you should have knit a pair of toe-up socks before so that you know what you're doing. But then I realized that I don't think you have had to. Maybe this is a very good, because Josh is very clear. He has very, very clear instructions on each step. So maybe this is actually a good first pattern as well to go into toe-up socks, because you're making essentially a toe-up sock and then you're doing this spiral thing. But it's very clear what that is and what to do if you don't want to make this. Or am I making any sense? It's, I guess anyone could figure out how to make a toe-up sock even without the spiral from his directions, because he is brilliant. So check it out if you are interested. I can recommend it. And those are my works in progress. I have some other... Oh, I do have... I haven't mentioned it in quite a while. This fall I did cast on a twined knitting mitten, maybe, for the knit group when we were talking about twined knitting, so I wanted to have a twined knitting project to knit on. And I haven't touched it since then, but I still have it, and I am going to do something about it one day or the other, but it's not an active work in progress, so... I have found... No, I did show you that book yesterweek. I've started following 3 new to me podcasts that I want to tell you about. And again, I have my computer right over here and I didn't really remember their names. So first off is Sticks Plus Twine is the podcast is called. He is Canadian, I believe, and since I used to pronoun he, you could guess that he's also a male knitter. Which, okay, so most of the podcasts that I subscribe to are ladies, and ladies are amazing in several different ways. But I would like to have my YouTube feed or my subscription feed be closer to 50-50 of men and women, because that would be cool, or that would be neat, I guess. And that is, I mean, Dan and Kay of the Bakery Bears and Dave and Ellie of FO and Die, who you should also check out if you haven't. They are, you know, male-female combo, I guess. So they are already 50-50, but of the single host or So Come Knit With Us, for example, they are double female. Yeah, I would like to have more male knitters, is what I'm getting at in my feed. However, I am, and absolutely no offense to anyone, but I have found some podcasts with male knitters, as well as podcasts with female knitters, that I've watched a few episodes of, and that just, you know, we didn't click, you know? There is still some sort of personal chemistry that it takes to feel as though that is someone you want to spend some time with. And there are some guys out there as well who I didn't fall in love with. That doesn't mean that they are not doing a good job, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. But Eric, I believe his name is, of Sticks Plus Twine, is a really, really good podcast host. So check him out if you also want some more men in your feed. So after I had found... Sorry, I just realized that I am doing this thing where I am using the different movements of the share. Sorry. So, as some sort of karmic retribution, I don't know. after having found a male knitter who I enjoyed watching, I found two ladies. So, and excuse me for leaning over. North One Knitting. And I am trying to think, because no. I can't think of her first name. Well, anyway, she is a British lady who has 2 episodes up, so she's a she's new to this, and she is completely adorable. She is amazing. She talks about her knitting, mostly. She also mentions, so again, 2 episodes, so she hasn't really, had that much content yet, obviously. But she talks about knitting, she also talks about sewing, or mentions sewing anyway, and she talks a little bit about books or stuff that she's reading, and I think she is adorable. So North One Knitting podcast on YouTube. And then Sticks Plus Twine is also on YouTube. And then finally, also on YouTube is Knitspired, who is Kimiko. And I believe she's from Canada as well. She's from Northern America anyway, and I think it's from Canada. Who is also really lovely. I think she has 5 episodes up or something like that, so she is also fairly new. Eric as well has 6 episodes, I think. So they are quite new, all 3 of them. But yeah, Knitspired, she is... I completely just lost my train of thoughts. What was it that I wanted to tell you? Yes, I wanted to mention, she also talks a little bit about food and... Excuse me! She's a vegan, or she's eating plant-based diet. And so she talks a little bit about that, and in a way... I've mentioned before that I am very, very uninterested in food and food stuff and recipes and stuff like that, but she keeps it sort of sweet, short and simple, and I am actually not bored, which must be a very good grade or mark. I don't know. But Knitspired, North One Knitting and Sticks Plus Twine are some newfound loves on my part anyway, so check them out if you haven't. And I just realized that I have probably not been looking at you guys as much in this location, because I have a light just over there and I do have a headache, so it actually does hurt to look at the camera because the light is so strong in my eyes. And I am not getting up and changing that now, so you might have realized that sooner than I did. Sorry, it's not you, it's me. And as usually when I'm recording, I have so many thoughts just rushing through my head, and I don't, because some of them are stuff that I don't really want to talk about, and then some of the things are things that I want to talk about, and I'm having some difficulty keeping them apart. But I've mentioned that the pattern is up. The other pattern is coming up soon-ish. I showed you the bag that Mom had made. I did suggest the new podcasts to you guys. And I've updated you a little bit on my health. Yeah, I don't really think there is anything else like that. Yes, there is one thing. Excuse me. I know that some people mention that they are consciously trying to keep their episodes short, because that is what they like when they are sitting down to watch a podcast. They prefer the episodes to be shorter. Because like they have kids and can't be sitting down to watch episodes on very long at a time. For me, I don't watch TV, I watch podcasts instead, so I kind of like the longer episodes, because that means I can sit and knit for longer before having to think or making any sort of decision. And I really haven't thought about or given any thought to episode length, really. So if I'm guessing that those of you who subscribe to me and watches my podcast if the length of episodes were an issue, you would probably not be watching. But if you do have any thoughts on that, or I'm probably not going to change everything, you know, quite honestly. But if you do have any thoughts or suggestions as to that, please let me know, because I realized I haven't been giving that a thought at all. So please let me know if that is something that I should be thinking about. Yes, thank you guys who've been in touch in different ways. I've had so sweet, lovely messages on Instagram. Ravelry. I have had quite sweet comments on Instagram as well, so thank you very much for that, and for the thumbs up and everything. You guys are amazing. It really means a lot, as I've said a million times, but I still really mean it. I will let you go now. I do hope you will have a lovely weekend if you are watching this as pretty soon as when it comes out. Have a good time ahead, no matter what day of the week or month it happens to be. Do take care of yourselves and be kind to yourselves and to one another, and be creative and try to learn something new. Whether it's crafting wise, or a new word, or to do a cartwheel, or whatever it is. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye!